Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend D.G. Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This Saturday the 3rd, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes, or go to patreon.com/CapesandLunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Jeremy Adams, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
In brightest day,
in blackest night,
no evil shall escape my sight,
but those who worship evil's might.
Beware my power.
GreenLantern's light. Hello and welcome back to Sector 2814, the Green Lantern podcast. I am Phil. Joining me, as always, Master of the Cord is...
I am Will. Hey, everyone.
And... tonight we'll be discussing Green Lantern 168, 169, and 170. For those of you hoping for a little Hellfire feedback, it looks like she may have forgot, even though I reminded her. So, on that middle issue.
On that middle issue?
Yes.
Why? What's special about that middle issue, Phil? I don't understand.
The return, the return of someone, of course. All right, so. Yes, I'm trying to remember if it'll go up by the time this goes up or not. But, yes, for those of you who remember our days on the Quantum Zone, yes, there will be a Quantum Zone episode after it goes out to our patrons for a while. Yes, it'll hit the Capes and Lunatics podcast. Quantum Zone 154. So we talked our usual Quantum Leap talk there about the finale and a lot of our other chat. Star Trek.
Star Trek, yeah. No new Green Lantern news at this point.
No, I got new comics today because we're recording this on a Wednesday instead of a Tuesday, like usual. I mean, I haven't read everything yet, but yeah, there was no Green Lantern anywhere, so. You know what we didn't do last night? But I had a few books out today, Will.
Batman, my favorite character.
I am shocked. I didn't even know he was still being published.
Can't believe we didn't do, even though it was a Marvel podcast, can't believe we didn't do that last night.
Batman, my favorite character.
On the Quantum Zone.
Into the Dark Knight, all to do with Batman.
Nice.
I did get Jeremy Adams' latest Flash issue, Flash 796. Was it 96? Yes. The finale of 1 Minute War.
I am putting together a back issue order for those issues so I can get his entire run on Flash, since I've heard such great things about it, and he was such a cool guy to talk to.
So not even digitally, you're going floppies, right? Oh,
right.
Nice.
Hardcore, man.
Nice.
Hardcore.
Oh, yeah, and he plays up
so don't spoil it for me.
Well, he plays up that family angle, too, so as a dad, yeah, you'll appreciate other aspects of it, too, so.
Nice. Very nice.
But yeah, 1 Minute More, like everyone's in it, both Flashes, Max Mercury, Jay Garrick, Impulse, pretty much anyone who's a speedster at this point, Wally's daughter, so.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
Yes, and in the finale, yes, he does come back and play, Jeremy Adams does come back and play with something that, from like early in his run, so.
So it's a good thing I'll be reading it from the beginning.
Yes. Trust me, you won't be disappointed, no.
Nice. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes. I'm trying to think of anything else new. As I say, I think we might have exhausted all our talk. Oh, you know what bums me out? I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's because there's storms around the area right now, but like I went to watch The Flash tonight. It wasn't on. They were playing what was going on CBS at the moment, Survivor. I'm like, really? The last season of The Flash? So I'll probably have to get it on demand or do something tomorrow. I'm just like, really?
Come on, man.
Come on. Better not do that next week. I think that's when they're doing an Oliver Queen episode. It better not be next week.
I thought he was the Spectre.
Again, it's Flash. Who knows? Maybe it's time travel. Who knows?
Run, Barry, run.
Who hasn't been the Spectre?
That's right. Good point.
At this point, the Spectre is basically Charlie Sheen. He's been in everyone. I was gonna spit take.
No thanks. Nice.
Lilith and I are always trying to get each other to do a spit take, man. We try to go all all crazy when one of us is taking a drink. So anyway, I did get a message from Ray. We did put up pictures from when Lilith was here. You know, did you see that picture? We were at the one comic shop, and it was just like half the store was just like back issues.
Had like some posters or something up along the top. Yeah,
I do like that store, but it's a little further out, so it's not like my regular store. I go there like when I'm in the area, but I'm like, because that's what I told Lilith when we were there. I'm like, man, I wish this was closer, you know, so I could come here like all the time. Yeah, but yeah, we're like, we got to get a picture of all those back issues that, you know, taunt Ray, because yes, kids, the back issue market, especially older stuff in Australia, is pretty much non-existent.
Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, shipping to Australia, is not cheap. Having just shipped out a ton of issues internationally as well. Yeah,
so I think down there, like Ray and them, like if they want to read old stuff, they get like the newer collections, you know, like the Essentials, or what's the newest one, Marvel something or other. But yeah, so they usually try to pick stuff up in collections.
Yeah, makes perfect sense.
And speaking of shipping to Australia, I mean, you mentioned it on the Quantum Zone in the thing last night, but yes, Crossover Division, your first trade's coming out of the first 4 issues. Yeah.
Yep. Number 4, finished fulfillment on it. There's one international order that's sitting in customs, so I'm going to call that for the moment. But we're gearing up for the hardcover of numbers 1 through 4, which should be launching on the 18th, so 2 weeks from yesterday.
So, is there any unique challenges compared to like a trade as opposed to like the single issues?
Well, I'm a dummy, so.
Well, you've never done it before, have you?
What you can do, and I actually thought about this a lot, and I talked to some of my other comic creator friends, and you can be really efficient, and you can print your hardcover and your trade at the same time and do something called split binding. So that because the insides are all the same, some become hardcover, some become trades, right? Mm-hmm. But I wanted it an oversized hardcover, so I wanted it to be a bit bigger, and it's going to be like we're setting I think 144 pages to start, but spoilers are going to be some stretch goals to maybe add some more content, back matter stuff, things like that. That might push it above 200 pages, so it's going to be a really cool collection. That's what I want it to be. And so I decided that from a collectability standpoint, a lot of what we're doing is our short run comics on Kickstarter. So they're potentially more collectible because there's not many in a print run, right? Mm-hmm. 500, 1,000, 2,000 copies, something like that. So I kind of wanted to lean into that a little bit with the hardcover and make it more of a collectible than just a trade paperback or something. And I mean, and eventually I'm sure there will be a trade paperback, but this is going to be everything that I want it to be now. And it's going to have a new 8-page story in it that I finished the draft of, and I'm working on edits right now.
Nice. So
lots of fun.
Kids, you wanted it bigger.
I could sprinkle some pin particles on it to make it bigger.
That's right. Yeah, and I missed Matt last night.
Yes, so did I. Again, we'll have to try to do more Quantum Zones every so often. So.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely.
This world's been in disarray since they lost Tom Brady. It's been wicked sad, eh? All right.
So, time to talk about these issues?
I guess so, yeah. All right. Well, surprisingly, I don't have synopses for these, so yeah, I'll do the credits, and then we can kind of talk through each one if we want. All right, so yeah. The first one, GreenLantern. Again, these are all kind of standalones. I mean, again, you kind of get the cliffhanger at the end of this one, but they're all pretty much standalones.
And then the third issue that we're doing, 170,
basically a recap issue.
It's a clip show.
Exactly.
It's a clip comic.
Here's what you missed if you haven't read the last couple months, kids.
Yeah.
All right, but the first one, GreenLantern 168 from October 2003, Deicide. Writer Ben Robb, penciler Rick Burchett, inker Rodney Ramos, colorist Moose Bauman, letterer Kurth Hathaway, and editors Nachi Castro and Bob Schreck. All right, so how would you sum up this issue, William? an alien Pope tricks Cal into trying to kill their god, and but meanwhile the Pope is working for the Black Circle, so
exactly. So it's not really.
He figured the easiest way to kill Green Lantern is to send him against a god.
Yeah, it's
because that can't go off the rails. No,
it seems a little random. I mean, and I think the story's well done. You know, the teams. It's just it really doesn't have any connectivity to what came before, except at the end, I am a shapeshifter from the Black Circle, right?
Yes.
And then it doesn't really have any connectivity to what comes next. It's just kind of this.
It's kind of like teasing you. It's like, oh hey, the Black Circle's still out there. They're coming. Yeah. So it's like I said, I can't remember because I haven't reread them yet, and it's been a while since I read them. But it's like eventually we get back to the Black Circle and stuff. But it's like pretty much that Green Arrow, Green Lantern crossover we did. That we got Almancer and all that. But and then it's like again, I don't think we're really gonna get hit. Cal actually battling the actual organization again until next week when we do the last couple Ben Robb issues. But it's like in between, it's based like, oh hey, the Black Circle's this big thing. It's like, really? Why? I mean, really, except for them trying to assassinate Cal, why are they a big thing?
Yeah, and the issues that we'll be doing, his last issues are 171 through 175. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So just 5 more issues after these, and then we get a certain friend of the show.
Oh yes. Yes, kids, unless his schedule suddenly changes, yes. In 2 weeks, we will be joined to talk his issues by a friend of the show, Mr. Ron Marz.
This is Ron Marz. You are listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
And also Dan from the Mosaic podcast, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So, yes.
We're gonna have a full house to kind of celebrate the entire...
Sorry, wrong button. But yes, to celebrate the...
Yes, we're going to celebrate the kind of the entire Kyle run and Ron Marz in particular because he was so instrumental in.
Whoa, and again, basically this whole volume.
Yeah, I
mean, we've pretty much been on this almost since episode 4, so pretty much almost from the beginning.
Yeah, exactly, and then we read Guy Gardner, we read some Dark Stars, we read some Green Lantern Mosaic.
That's right, kids. We put in the time.
That's right.
We put in the pain, the pain and suffering.
Guy Gardner.
Every single issue, even the Legends of the Dead Earth annual. Every single issue. Oh, and the other thing about this issue, hold on, let me show you something. Remember, like we were saying, like the art, like Rick Burchett's art is. I like his art. It is, it's good, but remember when we were saying it's like except for like the dark hair, Kyle's kind of looking more Hal Jordan-ish lately. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know you've blocked this out of your mind, but I saw this online the other day and it reminded me. Action Comics, the cover to 608. Who does that look like?
That's a very Kyle look.
Yes, because his hair is very dark and there. So, yeah, it does not. I mean, the face. I mean, look, doesn't that look like Kyle at this point?
Kinda, yeah, with an old costume. So, yeah, there is a page. Was it in this issue where Kyle's flying off, but it looks like he's jumping or like on a surfboard or something? It's like the last page splash, and I was like, that's not the classic. Flying pose. Yeah,
that's the other thing. I think it might have been. There was one this issue, and there might be one next issue, or the one after, where it's kind of like, he's not like doing the classic pose. There's one where it looks like he's surfing, but there's no surfboard there, and it's and it's. I'm like, why?
Why? Yeah, I thought that was kind of strange.
So,
I mean, it was done well.
I mean, again, if you want to try to have fun or something, but I'm like, wouldn't that just like tire you out more?
Yeah.
Your legs up and this.
It looked weird, and I was like, it's done. It was executed well. I mean, the art on the books, no complaint on the art on the books, but like that's a weird pose for Green Lantern. It's not something you see every day, and I'm kind of understanding why. I think
because there seemed no purpose to the change. So I was just like, was that just the artist having fun, or
I don't know. But back to this issue. Kyle dies, but it's just a construct that he sent there because he already suspected that things were screwy on this normally peaceful planet that suddenly lots of people are slaughtered on. So, I mean, it's...
So I no longer have godlike powers, but I can make a construct that's not completely green either, that can pass for a dead body.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I guess if you pour enough willpower into this ring, I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
You can change the color and stuff, but.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, this is the same guy who got taken out by a brainwave?
Yeah. At least it wasn't a yellow lamp.
Or a safe.
Oh. Or a safe.
Or Oprah. I'm sorry. I sorry, Your Honor. I opened the door with that Action Comics cover.
Oh, you did. I gotta keep the walls up. Keep the walls up.
Oh, and then we also got in this first issue, we got the ongoing side plot of Mirren looking for
which is
a job.
Nuts. I mean, she's been a Dark Star. Would not some government on this planet want a Dark Star on the payroll? I mean, or some corporation, but
and again, and this guy, she's trying to get, what is it, like a clerical job or something, or
yeah.
And this guy, this guy's like, I don't need, no, you have no experience, but with that party like that, you could do porn. He actually does say that, and I'm just like, if nothing else, wouldn't some sexist hire her as like, there's guys who hire secretaries just for the eye candy. I'm like, wouldn't she get some kind of secretarial job just that way, if nothing else?
Maybe she should have gone to HR at that place, right?
A racist against blue people, yes. But yeah, you're right. Any government, or it's like,
I mean, she has,
or go to the police academy, something.
Yeah, she has a particular set of skills.
Oh! And I guess, and I was thinking about this too, because she was like, I need to find my own life now because John's always off being Green Lantern now. And I guess, he's just like stopped his architecture business and stuff. Mm-hmm. So then I was thinking about this morning. I was like, wait a minute. So if he's not doing the architecture job anymore, I'm like, he still has an apartment, right? How's he affording that apartment?
JLA stipend, maybe. I
mean, unless when he was making money, he was just making good investments, and he's got a bunch socked away somewhere. I'm just like,
yeah, her subplot is weird, and then Jade's. I mean, I don't know if that was, hey, break him up because the book's ending, or
maybe,
or I mean, I don't know. That was. It just seems,
because we kind of get the payoff to the Kyle Jade thing. I think towards the beginning of Ron Marz's run. I think.
Oh, okay.
I think he finally pulls the trigger on that. I think it is Ron Marz, because Kyle comes back to Earth and that all blows up in his face. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's we got to see Terry again. Which was good. We got to see John up in the JLA Watchtower.
Mm-hmm. But I'm just like, and again, it's like, I don't know if they're playing up like John from like the Justice League animated series, but it's just like, Wally West is like trying to be all friendly. He's like, no, he's like,
yeah, I'm gonna go read. I'm cranky.
Yeah, Green Lantern and Flash don't have to be friends, and I'm just like, really? I'm like, you would think. I mean, it's Cal's buddy. It's like, hey,
Yeah, I don't know. It's something. Maybe the characterization just feels a little off. I don't know.
Yeah, because I'm like we're not giving, except for being a superhero. I get John's happy to be a Green Lantern again, but it's like we're not giving him anything outside of being Green Lantern. It's like basically, except for like supporting cast in this book, no other friends, no job. Because I'm like, Cal's off in space. I mean, we can't. How about making John the employed Green Lantern?
Yeah, I mean, it.
And Mirren in one of these issues says that Jade something about she's locked in her darkroom now all the time, with Calloway, and it's like, but we never see her be a photographer.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we just say it, show it, don't show, not tell.
Yeah,
it's like comics, right? But I don't know. I just feel like, I mean, I know the series is winding down, but it's felt like it's been winding down for a while.
Yeah,
because there's not a lot of. I mean, here we are. We're 20 issues. Well, we will be when we talk about the next two issues. We're 20 issues past the Big Ion storyline. What has happened in the last 20 issues?
Again, he got his butt kicked by a brainwave. We got the Terry beating.
The Black Circle.
Yeah, Black Circle.
I mean, I can't think of a lot of the other. I mean, it's been a lot of single issue stories that don't really feel connected to anything, you know. And I'm not just saying that because I think Ben Robb is doing stories like that. It felt like after Ion, those are the stories that Winnick was telling too, you know.
And again, with Cal off in space, I mean, he's basically separated from his supporting cast.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which we'll talk about when we talk about 170.
yes. Oh, should we get to 169?
You bet.
Because at the end of 168, yes, we get a beaten up Ganthet.
Yes.
I didn't think anything could trash you. Well,
except that jerk Hal Jordan. Sorry.
Ooh. I don't think he didn't beat the Guardians. He just basically pulled off his plot while they stood there and said, "Don't do that. Don't do that. We're not going to stop you, but don't do that."
Don't do that. Yeah.
All right. So Green Lantern 169. Thanks for the feedback, Lilith. November 2003. In the Dark of the Light. Get it? Basically, the same team here. So, yes, kids, this is when we fully resurrect Kilowog. Spoilers.
Yeah, which I still don't quite understand, but okay, whatever. We got Kilowog back.
I guess so. What is it? So I guess it's for his people. The afterlife is you basically get smashed into a giant ball of humanity together. And then, somehow, if you do get resurrected, these demon things come and get you.
And bring you back.
And drag you back to the afterlife, yeah.
But are those demon things part of the thing, or are they separate? And if they're separate, then what does that mean? How I don't understand. But we got Kilowog back, so yay.
Yeah, because I guess Ganthet tried to stop them. So Ganthet couldn't stop them, but with Ganthet's help, Cal was able to shoot into that afterlife and pull Kilowog out.
Because he gave him his ring. Now, I have a problem with that.
Oh, yeah, the lock thing. I wonder, it's they never say it, but I can always headcanon it, where it's just with his upgrades he put on the ring, the ring never fully runs out of charge. Did he maybe put in a backdoor where it's hey, if I tell you to let someone use the ring?
Yeah, I can headcanon that, too. It's just, it kind of stood out because, that's one of the things that, has really been, kind of a standard for this book is that the ring only works for him, and
Hal Jordan.
That's it. And Hal Jordan. That jerk Hal Jordan, right?
Bastard Hal Jordan. Pretty soon we're going to be singing his praises.
That's right. I always have. Hal Jordan.
About a month, kids, yeah. Although to get there, man, he's going to have to take a punch to the face. Or no, he punches, and then a couple months later, then he gets punched back.
Yep, that's right.
Oh, man, we should do a special. How many Green Lanterns has Batman punched? Guy Gardner, Hal Jordan. Has he punched anyone else? Has he punched Cal?
I wonder if he's punched John.
Oh.
He may. I don't know. Has he?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember if we got. Probably except for the JLA of this era. Have we gotten a lot of Batman John interaction in the comics? Yeah. But maybe in the JLA at this point. But I don't know.
Maybe.
One-on-one, I don't remember really a lot.
Yeah. It's a Bat thing, right?
Batman, my favorite character.
See, Ray, you should love Green Lantern, any of them, because they seem like they're always getting in fights with Batman. Oh, that's how I should be Ray. I'm you should love how Jordan Will does. He's punched out Batman.
That's right. He punched out the Bat.
I should send him that page, a shot of that page of how Jordan decking Batman and be hey, we're going to talk this in a few weeks. Why don't you read it and send feedback?
We thought you might like this, I don't know why.
Batman, my favorite character.
But anyway, so he, while they're in the afterlife and Cal's getting swarmed, yes, he does shoot the ring to Kilowog and, lets him, he can work it. But I guess between the ring energy and getting pulled back out of the afterlife again, it brings him fully back to
And the demons are then trapped in with the rest of his afterlife friends.
I guess, but the rest of them have been in there since his planet got destroyed. What at after Crisis? So
yeah.
And again, we never explain, oh, hey, since when did Cal and Kilowog get to be such buddies?
Yeah, well, now that they've saved each other, so they're soul brothers. Is that what I think says at the end?
I think so. Yeah, but even before that, before Kilowog got dragged back in, what was it, last episode or something? There, all of a sudden we're just like, oh, hey, they're like good buddies.
They're all jokey together.
Since when?
Since then,
I guess. Yeah. Oh, and then at the end of the issue, yes, those 4 former Green Lanterns get talked into helping Cal. So I believe that's what we're going to see next week.
Yeah, and one of them.
Oh, the guy who talks them into it. Yeah.
No, well, one of them. Oh. Yeah, he's from Dark. He's projecting from Apocalypse, which I don't even want to get into that.
Did we do that in one of those annuals or specials? That guy. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
But one of those ex-GLs is a big fan of another Green Lantern because he mentions Guy Gardner.
I know. I was like, oh my god.
It's not as good as Guy Gardner. I was like, okay, cool, dude.
And once again, Cal's trying to rebuild the core. Okay, John Stewart's watching Earth. I get that, but again, doesn't John's ring make more rings? Can't we? Do we dare put a ring on Guy Gardner's hand and ask him to come help?
Why wouldn't we?
And again, in that retcon, didn't Ganthet offer Cal's ring to Guy first? So he's obviously Ganthet thinks he's worthy enough.
Yeah, and it's
and again, and you have Ganthet, you have the central battery. Oa's back, so even if you're not using John's ring, can't you make a new ring out of however they make new rings?
And that's kind of what I was like. Wait. Hey, yeah, we'll get you some rings. Wait, no, we're gonna do this slow. I'm like, I got a ring on Earth that can duplicate itself. We'll go and get it. We'll do it together, right? We'll shoot him together. It'll be fun,
Might give you an excuse to go back to Earth for 5 minutes and see your girlfriend.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for people to help, then give them the means to help.
Yes.
And why wouldn't? And if he's going to leave Earth for a while, why wouldn't not? Hey, John, I'm going to make a copy of this ring and take it with me, so I've got it, and it can duplicate itself too.
Yes. Like you did the first time, yeah.
I don't know. It's just seems like they keep. There's this weird tension. They keep bringing back aspects of classical Green Lantern mythology, right?
Yeah.
The Corps, Oa, the Guardians. And yet there's this tension that Kyle must remain the one only Green Lantern.
Well, yeah, it seems like we want to writing it where it's like we don't want to make it too easy to rebuild the core, but it's like, but that plot point's been there for like 60 issues now, so it's like,
and then dude from Apocalypse projects himself to talk to the X4 Lanterns. How he knows them, I don't know, because he's never left Apocalypse. And how he's projecting, because he's not recharging his ring. Supposedly he had the power inside him or something from that annual, if I remember right.
I'm trying to remember if we explained that or not next time. I can't. Like I said, it's been years since I reread those, so... Yeah,
I don't... I
mean, if it gets paid off, it gets paid off next week, because that's the end of Ben Robb's run, the next 5 issues, so...
It just seemed a little nonsensical, Why those 4? Because they're the only 4 that answered the summons. But, we've established, I think, at this point that there are literally thousands of ex-Green Lanterns out there.
Including Guy Gardner.
Who? I don't remember. I don't remember. Of course, and yeah, it's a weird, I mean, they could quickly, and, we'll see this, spoilers, Green Lantern Rebirth number 6, you have the 4 Corpsmen, you have Hal, John, Guy, and Kyle. You have Kilowog, and then with Green Lantern number 1, you've got a core of 7,200 lanterns patrolling the universe. It happened between pages, okay? It doesn't have to take a long time to build up the core.
But again, at this point, is the writing on the wall? So we're like, no, we can't bring the core back yet. Jeff Johns is working on this.
Yeah, and if I guess that's what confuses me. If that were the case, then why why set the book on Oa? Why set it amongst Kilowog and the Guardians? Why not just have Kyle out in space doing some solo action,
and
doing a Green Lantern stuff?
And the minute Kilowog is fully resurrected back to life, shouldn't your first stop be Earth and like, hey, let's go copy John's ring and give you a ring, Kilowog?
Yeah, let's give this guy a ring because he's only trained every freaking Green Lantern.
Yes, he's a veteran. I mean, he's proved himself. Yes. And hey, we're going to rebuild the core. Hey, why don't we fully power up the trainer of the core? Yeah.
It's these issues aren't bad. It's just they don't really stand out. It's just kind of,
it's almost like we're killing time.
Kind of middling. Yeah. I mean, it's just like this stuff happens in this issue. This stuff happens in this issue. Maybe we'll connect them a little bit, but then this stuff happens in this issue, and then again.
Hey, Will, speaking of killing time, you want to get to that third issue?
Let's get to that third issue.
Talking about killing time.
Yeah, I was reading this. So Green Lantern number 170, right?
Yes, December 2003. Greetings from Sector 2814, which with a different penciler, Chris McLaughlin and inker David Roach. I think everyone else is the same. So yeah, different penciler, different inker this time.
Yeah, and the art seemed a little rougher, not as slick as, what we've been accustomed to. But
so yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's just because it's different art, penciler and inker, or was there a deadline? So they brought someone in at the last second who had to rush it. I
don't know, but I mean, this is a clip show. Is what this issue is.
Yes.
I mean, hey, I'm sending you a video of what I've been doing for the last several months.
Cal, except for like that hollow image of Cal, he's not even in the issue.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe it's just me, and I'm asking, is it just me or is it Lyra?
I think so.
I don't understand what she's supposed to be, right?
Yeah, because she used her guardian powers to age herself up. I'm like, why is she still an adult? Couldn't Ganthet age her back down, let her age normally? Although they all kind of age back up during Rebirth, but I mean, still.
But even if she's not aged up, if you look at the other Guardians, Ganthet didn't turn into a giant hunk of a super. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I wonder, was that a secret desire of hers, or was it just because they were brought back through Ion means that they're different now? I don't know. Which again, they're not going to look like this after from Rebirth on. So yeah, I mean, and do we even see her again? I don't remember her in Rebirth. But,
I can't remember. Yeah,
that it's been a long time since I've read post Rebirth issues. So, and then this whole issue is just, hey, this is what I've been up to. And it of course has Jade, flirting with someone else because she's going to ultimately leave Kyle. I get that, but I don't know, that whole thing felt kind of awkward. That subplot to me, it didn't feel organic. It just kind of felt glued on.
Wait, which one?
Her, flirting with the.
Oh yeah, and giving him her phone number and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it just felt. Like I said, it didn't feel organic, and this whole issue was just.
Well, that whole thing is weird because it's like, oh, you haven't heard from Cal in like a month. I'm like, wasn't he calling Terry weekly? Is he still calling Terry weekly?
Yeah, I guess not. I mean,
and again, okay. Here's the other thing: was it at the beginning of 169, he was like basically in the central battery, like charging up as much as he could before he went to rescue Kilowog? Because didn't Ganthet say he was in there for like hours or something?
Yeah.
You can't make a call while you're in there just like soaking in the energy.
And his ring,
you're in the powers, you're in the central battery. If there's any place you can make a call from, it's probably from the central battery.
Yeah, and he didn't. So, this is just, I think this points back to Kyle doesn't feel like Kyle and hasn't for quite a while to me.
Yeah.
And I think it's even pre-Ion.
Yeah.
I mean, and I feel like it goes all the way back to the end of Ron Marz's run, because.
Well, again, we've cut him off from everything that's so familiar because Cal was always so like based on Earth, and again based in with either the Justice League or his supporting cast. He's cut off from everybody except for like Ganthet and like Kilowog. Now He's off in space. He doesn't have. I mean, when's the last time we saw him at that job?
Yeah, I mean, and it's just, I don't know.
I don't think we ever see Kyle with a job again, do we?
We don't, not that I know of, because he doesn't come back to Earth until Rebirth. Well, he does come back because he comes back to Earth, then he leaves again, and he comes back during Rebirth just to bring Hal back, and then he's off. He's honor guard, and he's not on Earth for our time, decades, literally, right? Because of all the stuff going on with the Corps and the different Corps and the White Lantern and New 52 and
Well, basically, I mean, besides Simon and Jessica, none of them have really been hanging around the Earth for many, many years. Our time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Jessica, she had a job for a while, I think.
Yeah.
And then...
Oh, that's what I bought. Sorry, during my birthday weekend when we went to that store, with all those back issues, I bought a bunch of some of the Green Lanterns issues I was missing. So
awesome.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, we haven't really seen, and we're going to get that with the new Green Lantern book from friend of the show.
Oh yes, Mr. Jeremy Adams. Yes, that's that's going to be interesting to see how interact with Earth for first time in a long time.
This is Jeremy Adams, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Because I mean, when's the last time we really got heavy Hal Jordan on Earth? I mean, it's probably since Sinestro Corps War.
Yeah, since before that. Yeah, I would think so. Because after that, they basically put the pedal to the metal on the cosmic stuff, and you got the introduction of the new Corps. And then that slides right into Blackest Night, and then after Blackest Night, you had Brightest Day, and then
because I was going to say
the Green Lanterns.
Like New 52 starts, he's kind of on Earth, but like Sinestro comes and gets him pretty quick. So
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It's
probably been over a decade. Yeah,
Kyle just hasn't really felt like this is the same Kyle that we're accustomed to, because after becoming Ion, and I think even before, he just wasn't necessarily behaving like the character we'd come to know.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, up to the point we're at reading now, it's like he's only had two other writers besides the guy who created him. So it's like, is it just that no one else has gotten the tone that Ron Marz had because Ron Marz knew the character because he created him?
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of feel like that, but.
And again, you separated him from everything that made him special. I mean, he was the last Green Lantern. That's pretty much out the door now. He was very Earth-based. Yes, yeah, that's out the door now. He's basically Hal Jordan Jr. here.
Yeah, and I think that's, and again, this is supposition, but I think sales at this point, Hal would not have been brought back, regardless of how much Jeff Johns wanted it or how much anybody wanted it, if the sales were still strong on Kyle's book. And I think that, we're coming up to a kind of the end of a long decline of these sales. Mm-hmm. So, but, and look at this issue. I mean, if I may have this issue, I don't know. I'd have to go look, but if I picked this up off the stand and then read it, I'd be like, what the F?
You gotta say it with an Australian accent.
What the F?
I mean, does this issue do anything for anyone except, like, say this was your first issue of Green Lantern? It would catch you up, but it's like, for anyone else, does this do anything for you? No,
I mean, it's like, hey, this is a great jumping on point, but it's also kind of a great jumping off point because nothing happens, right? I mean,
I think I remember when I bought this when it was new. I'm like, wait a minute, I paid whatever for this. I'm like, I know all this already.
Yeah, and Kyle didn't even show up. I mean,
no, and like even the hologram,
Memory Emerald did.
Yeah, the hologram's basically like, oh yeah, we're already undercover with the trying to take down the Black Circle. I recorded this 2 weeks ago or whatever. It's just like,
yeah, how long's he been gone? He's been gone 2 weeks. Okay, cool. So
why did it take you so long to bring us this Cal message that if he recorded it 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't... yeah, and why did it have to be Lyra? Why wouldn't it be... I mean, I guess Ganthit's watching the kids, but I'm just like, why wouldn't it be Ganthit? I mean... Or why wouldn't it just be ring-to-ring communication with John? Or, hey, John, I need you to pick something up that I'm shipping to the moon.
And it's okay. and it's like when Lyra shows up, it's like John doesn't know who she is. I'm like, wait a minute. So like Ganthit, nobody's talking to John at this point.
Why? Yeah, why not?
Wouldn't he be like, hey, John, come to Oa, see, look, comes, John, you had big experiences on Oa. Why don't you come and check it out, the new Oa out?
And see what's going on, because you used to be a cough guardian,
Or not even that. You basically were the protector of Oa during Mosaic. It's.
Mm-hmm. And then I blew it up, John. Sorry about that. Did I ever tell you that?
But don't worry, we got everyone off the Mosaic.
Yeah. Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge. Again, I feel like, there's this tension between bring all the core back. Kyle must be the only Green Lantern, and they're just fighting each other. And it makes for a weird kind of, clash between what's going on in the book that kind of defies common sense. And
again,
why aren't they doing this?
Again, just from talking to different writers, I never talked to Ben Raw, but I'm just wondering if maybe he had bigger plans for the core, bringing back the core. And they're like, no, things are in the works. Maybe it wasn't all set in stone yet, but it's like, no, things are in the works. So you just kind of have to like drag it out and not fully bring the core back. So,
well, and if that was the case, then I feel like it could have been done much more elegantly than it was. At least, and this is me armchair quarterbacking from 20 years later.
Yeah.
So take that with several grains of salt, right?
True. But yeah, just a subplot. And again, it's like, oh hey Kyle, it's me, Mirren. Here, I'm still looking for a job. I'm in a crappy apartment. I'm just like, I get Mirren's nice. They've all gone dancing together, but I'm like, wouldn't Kyle want to rather hear from like Guy or Alan or his mother?
And John and
John
Terry
John and Terry record
do it,
messages, but I'm just saying. Besides Mirren, wouldn't he rather hear from like some of his drinking buddies? We don't do any. When's the last time we got a drinking
Connor.
night at Connor, Wally?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. But when was the last time we had
drinking at
Warriors? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although even like during anything after Ron Marz, it's like even it just seems like Guy Gardner kind of got pushed to the side.
He shows up in 168. When Terry's on TV.
Oh yeah.
But that's heck, we didn't even know he was dead until we found out he was dead, and he was resurrected in the same issue we found out he was dead. Right.
Exactly. But again, except for that one, what was that, like 140 or something? We haven't seen a ton of Alan either, and it's just like, well, it is Jade's father. You'd think you'd use that excuse, but...
Well, okay, and correct me if I'm wrong.
I always do.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Kyle gave John a ring in like 150, 151. Is that right?
Oh, that ring?
Or was it 152?
Oh, when Kyle gave John the ring? It was like... Wasn't it like might have been the end of 154, 150, because remember once they find out Terry, when Cal makes his decision to leave Earth, that's when he sends he doesn't even hand it to John. He sends him a letter and is like, here's the ring, watch Earth, I'm gone.
And we haven't had like a full issue of John on Earth at all.
I know.
He's just been in the background. What's he been doing? Well, he's been hanging out with the League, I guess. So go do JLA. You would think that would be a bigger deal.
Exactly.
In the actual Green Lantern book.
That's what I'm saying. Why don't they split this book and have working architect John Stewart, aka Green Lantern, as like half of these issues?
Yeah, because it's.
Yes, he is doing more stuff in JLA. I was reading JLA at the time, but it's like in the Green Lantern book, it seems like he's just. It's like, oh, I punched out a bad guy and took him to jail.
Yeah, I don't know. This, like I said, this book seems disconnected from, every kind of thing that's come before because, Kyle's out in space. Well, okay, if you want to isolate Kyle in space, then isolate him. Get him off Oa, get him away from Kilowog, get him away from Ganthet. All of these things.
And again, it's like even like the early issues of this volume, remember, we did like rotate where it's like after the road back, we did a Guy arc, we did a John arc, then we did a Hal arc. It's like
arc.
They could have did that here, do Kyle, do John, Hell, Kilowog's back. He could have did something with Kilowog.
Mm-hmm. But I think at this point, and, again, I don't know, but I think you're right. I think the writing's on the wall at this point. They've probably called in Ron Marz at this point to say, hey, we're going to cancel this, with number of issue 181. So,
because after 170, I mean, Ben Rob's only got 5 more issues. So, do you think they've already told him? It's like, 175 is going to be your last one. So, if you want to wrap up Black Circle, do it in the next 5 months.
Then. Yeah, and I guess that's something else. Black Circle hasn't really, at least I haven't felt like it's shown itself to be a really credible threat, right?
No, it's like I said, it's more like the boogeyman. It's like, oh, they're out there. It's like, well, what? Besides trying to kill Cal, what have they been doing?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they killed their, loyal follower, and
they did the whole ninja thing, the whole ninja guy thing, yeah.
Oh yeah, who's not a bad guy.
They're basically threatening his wife and daughters, yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm trying to, like I said, I can't remember. I haven't reread, but they might pay that off next. I can't remember.
If they don't pay it off in the next time we talk about it, it ain't getting paid off.
No.
I mean, because that's something about Rebirth that is both good and a little not so good, in that it is a very clean break and it is very much a new beginning. But in Rebirth itself, we gloss over some things that, Hal as the Spectre gets glossed over. It's just he's the spirit of vengeance. We don't really talk about, or we don't even get much of a hint at what went on in the great J.M. DeMatteis series.
No, because like I said, at the time, I hadn't read that series. I pick up Rebirth. I didn't know what the hell was going on in the J.M. DeMatteis story. I was just like, oh yeah, Hal's the spirit of vengeance. I forgot about that, yeah.
Yeah, and then with Guy, there's really not much, because not much has happened with him since the end of his book, which was, just post Emerald Twilight.
Yeah, no, he's basically been a background character since the end of his book, yeah.
And then John, has been hanging out with the JLA, so he's a Green Lantern. And then we find out, what Kyle's been doing at the far reaches of space. We don't really get into any of, Kyle's there because he was the one to keep the, hope alive while
the torchbearer.
The torchbearer. But there's not a lot. The book, the focus of the book in shifting from Kyle to Hal with Rebirth, it also kind of shifts storytelling modes because it becomes big cosmic action and really, really a much different book than the more grounded, focused, superhero-ish stuff that, made Kyle's run, as Green Lantern, I think so popular.
Well, I think that's one of the weaknesses I feel of most modern comics. I mean, at least from the big two, where I think we've kind of lost a lot of the supporting cast. 'Cause, I mean, in old Green Lanterns, you'd see what Carol was up to, or and like I said, even to this day, I'm like, it's in Spider-Man. I mean, you used to get J. Jonah Jameson for at least a page or two every issue. It's like now it's like
pictures of Spider-Man. Sorry.
Exactly. Now it's like you're lucky if you get them once or twice a year. It's just like I feel that's again with Marvel and DC. It's just like you kind of lose the personal touch, like the people around the characters. And I mean, we were just talking about none of the Green Lanterns have jobs now and stuff, and it's just like. I know you were saying something. It's like, like the whole police aspect of it, or it's like, I was just thinking, are they treating them more like the military where it's like, oh, you have no personal life. You're 24/7 Green Lantern. And it's like, yeah, we don't need that. It's like, again, like you said, first responders. And hey, can we also see what the first responders do when they're not on the clock?
Yeah. and you see a lot of that military approach to the core with Jeff Johns' run, post Rebirth and all that, because there are core safe houses, that are built out there that they can go and get food and, rest and recuperate and whatever. It's really interesting that, once Sinestro Corps War starts, you're right. From there, it's boom. They're not really on Earth hardly at all. I think Hal comes back to Earth during the Grant Morrison run. He's there when it starts. But then, once he gets the ring back or a battery back, he's off again. And I think it's a real balancing act that you have to be very delicate with.
I mean, wasn't that part of the classic thing for Green Lantern, where it's like, oh hey, I have to police a whole sector, but it's like, that's kind of going to play hell with my personal life.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I am really looking forward to see what Jeremy Adams does, with Hal back on Earth, and I am hoping that, and he didn't say that he wouldn't address it, but I'm hoping to figure out what's up with the Guardians, what's up with, the Power Rings, what's going on, because from the solicits for the new Green Lantern series, we're in a very different place than we were at the end of the last Green Lantern book, which was over a year ago at this point.
And again, well, I mean, I hold out high hopes just because, I mean, Jeremy Adams he called himself this kid's a continuity horror, so I'm assuming we're at least going to get a couple lines of, oh hey, this is how the Guardians are back, or
his DC nerd brain.
Exactly. Oh, Will, we are so close. We're almost it's almost a month, because I just looked it up. Green Lantern #1 comes out May 9th.
Woohoo!
Oh man, you're gonna have to wait till the end of the month, aren't you?
I may have to go to the shop and buy that one and have an extra copy.
Either that or just buy it digital.
Mm-hmm. I could do that too. I mean, it's a big honking deal. We haven't had a title called Green Lantern #1 for a year, and we had a Green Lantern #1 a year before that, but there hasn't been a just plain Green Lantern series for quite a while. I mean, The Green Lantern by Grant Morrison and Liam Sharp, which then that turned into Green Lantern Season 2. So it's been a while.
Oh, Will, are you gonna buy? There looks like there's at least 5 or 6 covers for this. Different covers for this. You're gonna buy different covers.
I'm gonna get the standard cover, and we'll see about the others.
Because they all look like they have Hal Jordan on them. So I don't know.
That's true.
Well, if you have one coming in the box, you could do that, and then if you go to the shop to buy it, just to read it beforehand, you could get one of the variants. Yeah. Because there is a nice one, and like he's flying like in between some fighter planes, and he's just like saluting the pilots and stuff. Yeah. So kids, a little over a month until we get Green Lantern. And in 3 weeks, is it 3 weeks? We're gonna do Ben Robb, then Ron Marz, then the JLA stuff. So the JSA, yeah. So like I said, it's about 4 weeks, because next week we'll finish up Ben Robb, then we'll have special guests, including Ron Marz, in 2 weeks, then the JSA arc, and then Rebirth.
And we totally planned this 2 years ago. When we started this podcast, so bravo us. I mean,
if we went with the original plan, we already would have hit Rebirth, but we did add stuff like the Spectre stuff. But yeah, he's been patient, kids. Because before we added the stuff like the Spectre and stuff, I mean, it was going to be closer to episode 100 Rebirth. So
yeah, well, we strive to be thorough, right?
Oh, so we might have a big episode. Well, with the Rebirth episode, we may even be able to do like a review of Green Lantern #1 too, depending when we record.
That would be cool, wouldn't it?
The return of Hal Jordan and the return of Hal Jordan.
Hal Jordan.
20
years apart.
Theme week, yes.
Oh, but seriously, there is a lot to be excited about coming up, because I think we've chatted about this online and offline. I'm sure is that. If you're a Green Lantern fan, there are a lot of things that we disagree on as Green Lantern fans, right? Who's our favorite? I'm Hal, you're Kyle. Who's our favorites? We disagree on that. We disagree on when the best eras were. Yeah. But there's one thing I think we can all agree on, that is that Jeff Johns' run on the title, which we're getting ready to start, is a huge step up.
Oh yeah,
the Lantern mythology,
the color spectrum. Yeah, I mean, it's basically what Mark Waid did with the Speed Force over in Flash.
In the Flash, yep, exactly. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it's used everywhere now. The movie, the TV show, just and again, any Green Lantern project, that animated series that you had different color rings. Oh
yeah, the amazing, spectacular animated series, which everyone should watch.
Yes, which Jeremy Adams wrote a little of also.
Exactly. Which is another reason to have lots of confidence in what we're going to be getting from him and his artist, Zermonico, I think. Is that
I
right?
believe so. Nice. Yes. Oh, you know what we should do for a special, maybe like for 150 or something, or even 200. Wherever we drop it, see if Jeremy Adams will come back and talk. Like, did he do a couple episodes of the animated series? Talk about one of his episodes of the animated series.
That would be cool. That would be very cool.
Yeah, be like, if there's a few, be like, which one are you most proud of? Which one would you want to talk about?
I mean, because there are some really great. First up, the soundtrack. Mm-hmm. The soundtrack is brilliant. It's awesome. I mean, it's just a really great soundtrack. And then you have such great episodes where all of their rings run out of power and they can't talk to each other, right? That's a really good. How do you get around that language barrier when
Oh yeah. I haven't done a full rewatch yet. I got to do that. But although I know if I sit down on the couch, and sometimes I'll just put something on while I'm editing and stuff, just sitting on the couch with my laptop and stuff. But if it's good, I'll just I'll get distracted. I'll be like, man, I haven't done any work because I'm gonna watch it. Exactly. I know it's what's gonna happen if I start watching the Green Lantern animated series.
Yeah, I hear you, man. It's something that if I put it on, I'm watching it. I'm not doing anything else because it's on.
Although I do have an extra long weekend. I got Monday and Tuesday off next week, so maybe I'll squeeze some of that in.
Nice. You should do that.
I should. All right. Anything else on these issues, Will? Because I know there's so much here.
I think that's about all I've got, sir. I mean, what do you think? Is it just me that's kind of feeling that this is winding down, or do you get that too, or is it just because we know what's coming? Or
again, I'm trying to remember how I felt because I read these as they were coming out new, and it seemed kind of, I don't want to say directionless, but it's just like I mean, by 170 especially with 170 we're dragging this out, and I'm just really we're building up hype for basically a bunch of space gangsters. I mean, I know Almond Sir is the son of legendary Green Lantern, but it's like,
so
yeah.
I maybe winding down isn't fair because we know what's coming next, or at least, but treading water, I think it's just there. It's not doing anything. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just treading water.
No.
Is that fair to say?
Maybe. And again, I wonder if at this point, did they tell Ben Robb that Ron Marz was coming in? So it's just basically like, oh, you thought you had more than 5 issues? Now you got 5 issues left. Wrap it up.
Yeah. Wrap it up. Because that's what Marz is coming in to do, is to wrap it all up. Which I think is really cool, honestly.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad they did that.
I think that's a really cool move by editorial or whoever, decided that, hey, we're closing this out. Let's bring in the guy who opened it up, basically, from Emerald Twilight for Kyle. So I think that's a really cool move.
And I believe he brings back another character from early in his run too. It's been a while since I read those, but I'm pretty sure I remember he brings back another character. I won't give you that major spoiler, but I believe.
Yeah, I think I know who that is.
Yes, I won't force that upon you.
Yep.
All right, Will. Anything else?
I got nothing, sir.
I'm all excited. Now I got myself all hyped up. I'm like, oh, Green Lantern in like a month, an actual new issue of Green Lantern in like a month.
Yes.
And we shouldn't gloss over it either. The return of Hal Jordan and John Stewart.
Yes, because it is, Hal may be headlining the book, but John's getting a backup story that is going to spin out into a miniseries, I believe, at some point.
Yeah. And
maybe. I don't know. They've changed their plans, I think.
I just wonder what Philip Kennedy Johnson has planned. Are we going to kind of, I don't want to say reboot, but kind of reset John to a classic Green Lantern, or are we going to deal with the stuff the last
Jeffrey Thorne
did? Yeah. Because
I don't know. I mean, part of me would like to see,
especially that cliffhanger. Oh, my wife's out there, it's like,
yeah. I mean, I'd like to see the whole of Thorne's story. I just feel like that for us to get the story that he was telling, it was at the cost of everything else with the Corps, right?
Yeah.
All the other Lanterns, not just Hal, and his run on Green Lantern has certainly been polarizing. Let's just say that. I found things in it that I really enjoyed. There are things about it that I don't like that I'm sure I've chatted about with you ad nauseum at this point. But it
didn't have enough rings.
Yeah, it didn't have enough rings, and I'm just not a big fan of the Fourth World stuff, and it was all built around the Fourth World stuff. So I get it. But
and I mean, again, it's not his fault 'cause he probably got pulled off of there before he should have. But Jeffrey Thorne. But it's like we're kind of building John Stewart up into something, and we even got that one shot, and it's like we're still kind of left dangling.
Yeah, he got the one shot. Plus, he got a one shot for the
World Without Justice League. Yeah. So, although I think they had to follow a specific formula because the JLA was like trapped in their own little bubbles. So,
and I think that was written by Philip Kennedy Johnson, wasn't it?
I think it might have been, yeah. But yeah, I mean, Philip Kennedy Johnson's still writing Action Comics at the moment. So I wonder if, like I said, I wonder if John's going to have any interaction with any of Superman or any of his family over there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, John's story feels unfinished, which you never want to see that.
Yeah.
I wish Thorne had the chance to finish his story. It's just that not at the cost of us getting to see the rest of Green Lantern stuff going on.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was the cost, but we have chatted at length about what I feel are some of the shortcomings of that book. But, there was also some things to like, I think, too.
We blew up the battery again.
This time with feeling. Sorry.
Oh, Lord. All right, kids. All right, I swear we're done this time. All right. So,
yep.
All right, kids, send us your thoughts. Again, next week, I don't even have to look at the schedule. Yes, next week we will finish up the Ben Robb run with Green Lantern 171 through 175. In 2 weeks, yes, we will wrap up this volume of Green Lantern. What is it, 176 through 181? Yes, with, again, unless his schedule changes, special guests, writer of those issues, Ron Marz, and Dan from the Mosaic podcast. So,
and Dan is, if you get a chance, check out that podcast, the Mosaic Comics podcast. He does some really great in-depth analysis of a lot of Kyle's run in particular. His villains, some of the issues, and things like that. And
definitely definitely that episode. I'll put a link in the show notes to his show. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of a celebration of not just this volume, but I feel like it's a celebration of Kyle, right? Because this is kind of the end of his, for the moment, kind of starring role in Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
That comes back around to Green Lantern Corps, and then ultimately, Green Lantern New Guardians with the New 52. But it's going to be a while before we get there.
And an Ion miniseries.
Yep, that's right.
All right, so that's 2 weeks, and again in 3 weeks, yes, we'll get to the JSA arc. I think it's 60 through 62. It's 3 issues. PSA Spectre arc, and then in 4 weeks, I don't know what we're gonna do.
I can't think of anything. I don't know.
I guess, like I said, Green Lantern Rebirth, and we might have Green Lantern #1 by then. So.
Be really awesome.
Hell yeah. Oh, I told you, if we can do it the same week, that'll be great. 2 returns of Hal Jordan.
That's right.
All right. So send your thoughts and your thoughts on any of those issues. Send your questions for Ron Marz. Email us CapesandLunatics@gmail.com or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can find pretty much everything Capes and Lunatics on our website now. Episodes, social media, merchandise, basically anything from our Capes and Lunatics network. Tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics podcast network. It's in the show notes, kids. All right. Speaking of networking, Mr. Will Allred, master of the core, master of the Quantum Zone, master of reading comics, writing comics, and podcasting. Where can people find you, find Crossover Division?
You can find me at WALLRED. That's on Gmail and Twitter and Facebook and other social media that I've probably forgotten that I set up. If you want to find the comics that I write, you can go to Crossover Division, crossoverdivision.com, and you can actually click on a link there to go follow the Kickstarter project that's upcoming later this month for the Crossover Division 1-4 oversized hardcover, which looking forward to that. That's going to be really cool. If you want to check out Diary of Night, diaryofnight.com, you can look at that there. That's a series I wrote a few years ago, and with art by Gene Gonzalez. And Phil is not the only podcaster that I annoy on a regular basis. I also hang out with writer Kevin Joseph, and on Friday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern, we have a little show called Explain Yourself, where we bring on Kickstarter creators, comic creators, and have them talk about their projects. You know, it's a way that we can help promote indie comics and indie comics creators. So it's a lot of fun, and you never know what you're going to find there. It's we usually have a lot of great creators. And finally, you're here listening to us, so you obviously have great taste. That means you probably love Quasar too, and who doesn't, honestly? If you want to find out more about Quasar, you can go to the Quantum Zone at quantumzone.org.
5 inches, maybe.
And again, yes, like I said, I don't know if it'll be up by now, but yes, keep your eyes peeled for the Quantum Zone episode 154 over on the Capes and Lunatics feed. So, yes, new episode. It's been a wow. It's been like, I thought we did it the last one in the summer, but I was looking the other day. I think it might have been in February of last year, so it might have been a little
over a year.
Yeah.
Wow. But yeah, we talked some really cool Fantastic Four issues.
Yes,
with,
Mark Waid, Fantastic Four, yeah.
And Mike Baringo, yeah. Nice.
Yep.
Hey, boys, you look at the party? I love the party.
Yes, Mark Waid, Fantastic Four, not the...
They aren't even attempting to enter our orifices.
Fantastic Four. I love you, Tom DeFalco, but I don't know what you're doing there.
Yeah, I just don't know, man. I can't believe that was printed in a Marvel comic.
I hope it's going somewhere nice. Seems like I'm getting a package every other day.
And in 1 month, kids, this button's going to get a workout.
I, of course, love Hal Jordan.
Exactly.
Oh, especially if we get the new issue. We have the new issue before we cover Rebirth. How Jordan over. Oh, how happy would you be if same episode, we got to do Rebirth and the new issue? Oh,
that would be pretty awesome.
We got to make that happen. All right. Thank you for joining us, kids. Again, next week we'll wrap up Ben Rob's run. And then in 2 weeks, we'll have special guests, including Mr. Ron Marz, to talk about his final run. 3 weeks, JSA and the Spectre. And then in 4 weeks, it's all Hal Jordan and Will.
All Hal Jordan, all the time.
Well, it'll be more interesting. All right, kids, come back next time. And remember, always be the designated driver, even if it's from the afterlife. Good night.